Good morning. And for those who don't know, this is a live stream from my home. And I want to address this because on my main page, because people felt like we were avoiding the issue, which is completely and utterly trash because that was not the case. We spoke on it. And when I spoke on it, I before, told you before that I've already addressed this situation before and that we had to wait for more developments. I'm not going to make 65 videos about a child that passed away in a tragic way. That's not what I want to do. It's not when I want to wake up and say, yeah, let me make another video about the girl who passed away. I let you guys know the facts when I got them, and that was that. You got everybody on YouTube who have become detectives. And that has created a huge problem and issue, amongst the viewing public who are not in the city or near the city of Chicago, who don't know anything about what's going on. So I give you the facts of the case that we have so far. And it's a difference of opinion. You have one side that totally believes that this is a death investigation. A death investigation means they don't believe it was murder or a homicide. It's mostly somebody died from some different form of whether it was natural causes or accidental. Now, people talking about organ trafficking and all, it's just gone way, way too far. And all of these things have no bearing on the case whatsoever. And it's like they're profiting off people's pain. And and because of that, they can't. People are not allowed to do their due diligence to get things done. She's a she's a little girl because she's 19 years old. That's why we say little girl. Because she still has teen by her name. Now, they released a video, like 6 different clips, the Rosemont Police Department. And the community activists, everybody was dissatisfied with the investigation. Now, the attorneys of the case is Larry Rogers Jr. and Sam Adams Jr. They represent the Jenkins family. And they're going to conduct their own investigation, and they will probably seek a second autopsy, depending on what, this autopsy provides. I told you, you must wait for an autopsy before you start saying they gave her Molly. They gave her. You guys do not know what happened. From the video, she was disoriented. We seen that video they sent out. She was very disoriented in the video. Okay? And when they got there, the parents said they never searched the hotel. The hotel never checked. They never searched. They never did anything while their daughter, her daughter, whatever, the 19-year-old girl, Kenneka Jenkins, was disoriented, sitting in there freezing. And we need a better answer to what happened there. The video does not show her going into the freezer. They show her in the kitchen area, then it ends. It's not about liable. They want to know what happened. People want, like, parents, they want this ordeal to be over with. They just want to know what happened to their daughter. Nobody's trying to extort and get money out of the hotel. This is not that. It's more painful than this. This is a very painful situation. She just lost her daughter. If she can give any dollar amount to get her daughter's life back, she would. She just lost her child. That I don't even want to know what that felt like. Now, the first two videos from Saturday showed that Kenneka was walking through there with three others in the public part of the hotel. But 2 hours later, she gets off the elevator alone. She's unsteady and she was unable to support herself on the wall. 2 minutes later, in another clip, she falls down, like she's like stumbling down a hallway where she was going into like bathrooms. She went finally into a kitchen, and that's where and it's a motion camera, and they supposedly have a motion camera like in that bathroom. So why they didn't pick her up, I don't understand. Like, I don't get why she was not picked up. People are saying video editing, and listen, I'm only giving you the facts. I'm not giving you speculation. Okay? So that's why the title says the facts of the case. Not giving you there was somebody there to take her organs, all this craziness. I'm only giving you the facts of the case. The same surveillance camera, which was supposed to be motion activated, when a person briefly enters the frame or leaves, the camera follows them. It followed her all the way through the kitchen, but they supposedly have a camera in there where the freezer is, but we have not seen that video. No one else enters the picture until 12:23 on September the 10th, when a man goes around the corner where Jenkins was last seen. A few seconds later, he walks quickly out of the frame and returns with a police officer. And hustling around the corner, Jenkins was pronounced dead at 12:48 a.m. by the Cook County Medical Examiner's office. The video also shows a body bag being removed at 4:53 a.m. Now, this is what we know. She went to attend a party at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois, that stretched into the early hours of September the 9th. Her sister last spoke to her around 1:30 a.m. Her mother, Teresa Martin, said that around 4 in the morning she received a call that Jenkins had gone missing. In a 911 recording, Martin can be heard speaking to the police dispatch an hour later or something like an hour, relaying a version of events provided by the friends that told her. They said they went upstairs to get a cell phone and Jenkins was standing by the lobby. When they came downstairs, she wasn't there anymore. Martin asked the police, which is the mother, she asked the police if they could review the surveillance footage from the hotel. She said she was worried because her daughter, who had a light tolerance for alcohol, had evidently been drinking. 1 cup is too much for her, and that the teen wasn't the type to disappear. She's 19, and that's my personal thing. She's 19. Light tolerance. She's supposed to have a light tolerance. She's 19 years old. She's not supposed to be drinking. But here we go. The dispatcher said Jenkins was an adult and had been missing for only a few hours. Advised them to be patient, saying it would take a while for detectives to get a hold of the video. What I would recommend is just go home, relax a little bit, give it some time. That's what the dispatcher said. For all we know, she's very well, still could be in the room. She could just be passed out. You know how it is. You're drinking the night before, you know what I mean. The family ended up filing a missing persons report the next morning. Rosemont spokesman, who is Gary Mack, and the police notified the hotel around 1:15 p.m. The hotel locked in all of the public areas and the floor where the party was held. They not locked, but looked in all these areas. The family returned to the hotel at 6 p.m. and knocked on the guest doors, trying to find witnesses. The hotel called the police, and Martin said the police officers who responded reviewed the surveillance videos and saw Jenkins staggering through the hotel around 3:20. A second search ensued. That's when she was found dead in the freezer. The medical examiner's office had to pronounce a cause or manner of death. They have yet to determine this. Do you understand? The medical examiner's office has yet to pronounce a cause of death. And you're not going to get that for a couple of weeks, pending further tests and investigation. The reason why is because you have to wait for toxicology reports to see what type of drugs or if there was any drugs in her system besides alcohol. You see, this is why people online saying it was murder. We know about Rosemont Police's history. We know they're still conducting it as a death investigation and not a homicide. All these people, they cut her organs out and froze her. They wanted to keep her frozen to preserve her organs. And we have no evidence of any of that yet. Nobody does. So for people to be saying this on the internet is crazy. But that's how the internet works. Create drama in people's misery. Now, the representative that I told you about, Rogers, earlier, he's representing the Jenkins family and said her life could have been saved, or at least she would have been found more quickly had hotel staff listened to her friends and mother when they came seeking for help. Jenkins' family and friends were not given the assistance they needed. Assistance that probably, I suspect, I don't know, have prevented us from her being here today. Everybody wants to know what happened. That's it. The mom says she wants to see it all. I want to see her actually walking into this freezer and closing herself in this freezer and freezing to death. That's what she wants to see. And then she's done. And that's where we are right now. So you have all the information that's on the case. Literally all the information. That is everything on the case so far. Those are all the factual information points on the case right now. Everything else is speculated. I'm not here to make crazy accusations and say this happened to her and this here and her friends drugged her and working with the mob to get her out of her organs out and they doing this to people. I've heard some of the craziest things in the world. I just wanted to have people who actually can go on YouTube, find a video that would actually give them the facts of the case, and that's that. So that's where everybody stands in this case. Rosemont does not like the attention. This is caused national media attention worldwide, so they're not, you know, keen to having this happen. As far as representatives, I'm glad they got somebody in charge that's like a lawyer to handle the case instead of this community representative that came in there and said he saw the video and all this stuff. And I don't even know where he's from. But he was working with the hotel. They got rid of him. So he's no longer in charge of anything. He was an activist, community activist guy who was trying to be the focal point. And a lot of people come in trying to get attention and profit off a girl who's missing, like not missing, but lost her life in an unnecessary situation. This is why if you have kids, if you have teenagers, let this be an example. Let this be an example as to why they must tell you where they're going, why they must tell you who their friends are, why they can't just go off and not tell anybody anything, because you might be in a situation like this and nobody will ever know where you are and their parents are looking for you and they probably would have to find you. You don't want your friends to be putting you in a situation where you're in harm's way. This is why you parents need to always be vested in what your children are doing. God Science 7, I've already addressed this situation. I did it on my other channel. That's why most of you probably didn't see that. So I brought it here on the main channel because it was just overwhelming. Emails keep flying in about this situation. And I'm like, I've covered this already. And this is why, like my sister, she did something pretty dangerous too. And she don't understand. She don't really yet understand the world. Many people don't understand the world. So if you don't, a lot of teenagers, they think they know it all. They've been shielded most of their life from the actual world because we want to protect our kids and raise them so they grow up thinking they could just go anywhere. They don't really see danger. And she is like that. My sister, she never really took the bus. She didn't understand life and how the world really works. So when you have a situation where they grew up pretty much privileged, they feel they can go anywhere and go. They have, no awareness as to danger. Where we grew up differently, so we see things that might happen or set up, or somebody come over, hey, can you help me? And we pick up on the scams right away. And by her being a woman and she's by herself, she'll go shopping late at night with bags. And it's just by God's sense she was protected, because had I not came out there and picked her up, she would have been stranded. My sister didn't know how the buses work or nothing. She don't know that at certain times buses stop running. But see, she don't ask questions. She just runs out and do things. And you don't ask questions and try to do it on your own, it could lead you in a terrible situation. And such as that, had I not came out there and picked her up just on my own, where would she have been? Late at night, catching a train with bags with her. And the saddest part about it is she got her friend with her. She brought her friend out here with her who don't know. She's trusting that my sister knows where she's going. So you're not only responsible for your life, you're also responsible for her life as well. But when you're a teenager or you're young and you're 20, you don't know that. You don't think like that. You're thinking, girl, we finna have a good time. So us being adults, we've been around the block. We know that. So we have to educate our teens, period. So this is why you have to tell them the awareness of these situations so that you could prevent situations like this. Because there's no way at 19 years old she should have been at a hotel to 2 in the morning anyway with friends. I would never let anybody, no child, stay at no hotel with probably boys and they're 19 years old. No. No. If you think you're grown at 19 years old and you living in my house, you better have your own crib. Because there's no way in the world I'm going to let my 19-year-old kid go to some hotel party, a daughter at that, to go be with some friends, knowing there's going to be guys there. In a hotel? No way. That would never go down. Hello, Jennifer Santana. For those who just got here, this is a live stream. We covered all the facts from this case. I'm just on here. I blame the mother too. I blame the parents for not being more into what was going on. And I don't want to badger them or badger her mom for this, but because I'm quite sure she feels a lot guilty about it. She just lost a child, so you don't want to badger them like that. But yes, definitely, that's why we're saying that parents should definitely know. For all the other parents out there, fathers, mothers, whoever is raising the kids, her sister talked to her at 1:30 in the morning. Her sister should have said, "What are you doing at this hotel party drinking with dudes at 1:30 in the morning? I'm coming to get you. You coming home." And for parents, you have to know your children's friends, all of them. It's very critical to be in your children's lives. Thanks, Donovan Williams. Yeah, I was super exhausted. It was scary. If that's the case, we'll find out. Right now, they're investigating it as a death investigation, not a homicide. There are too many people on the internet trying to be Perry Mason or, Sherlock Holmes, and they're investigating all of the evidence without seeing any of the evidence. I DVR undisputed. If you guys could only see my inbox from people wanting me to address this, when I already addressed it like 4 days ago. I thought people saw it because it got a lot of views, but I guess it didn't get enough because not a lot of people came out. Yep, that's it. Listen to Tevin. He's telling you to write right now. That is the channel. Tevin's just told you. That's where it's at. I'll put the link to the other video in here. My face will pop up. So I did make a video about 5 days ago. There might be a lot of unanswered questions that may get answered, but you're not going to find out 2 weeks from now when you get there has not been an official statement given for the cause of death because you got to wait till the toxicology reports come back. So you're not going to see that for a couple of weeks. It's no conspiracy. When you do toxicology reports, those things normally take 3 weeks, 4 weeks till they can determine what type of drugs, if any drugs, were in her system. So they're waiting to get the toxicology report back before they make a decision. Tara Cullen, they had to put the footage out. The public saying they have to release, they got to release what they find. You got like 48 hours to release, that to the public. I made a live video talking about this on my other channel, which is ONE. What is it? ONE? Matter of fact, let me come in the live chat room. I will give you the page to the other account. The reason why I have that account, I've actually had that account for years because they were trying to shut me down a long time ago. So I was already prepared with my other account back in 2012. So the account was just sitting there. And I was like, oh man, I forgot I had this account. Which I did. I saw one video I made on it like, oh man, this is crazy. There you go. That's the account. Well, when you say things that are not favorable to a lot of people, then they tend to make statements that's not, they got people that work with social media that handles pushing your videos into the background and to the blackground, whatever it's called. So you got to always be prepared. Well, everyone know I got Scream Fiend, the movie account. Y'all know that already. On here is where I talk about mostly things in the news. There I normally talk about political things, things that they don't normally allow here. I don't I don't see anything ironic about it. The date had nothing to do with her death. So 9/11 and all that, that don't really hold any weight. I mean, there was no political reason behind 9/11 besides the fact it was 911, the cover up of 9/11. Oh wow. Oregon's harvesting. That's what in Rosemont, Illinois. They're transporting organs into Rosemont, Illinois. Based on what evidence, sir? Or ma'am? That's right, Scott. Twitter. My Twitter account is linked to all three of my pages. So hopefully you see them all, like my movie channel, everything. That's why you got to do an autopsy. They will determine if she did have intercourse with somebody or she didn't. They'll determine if there was any drugs or anything else besides alcohol that inebriated her. In the video, it looked like she had a little bit more than just alcohol. That's just off the appearance of the video, the way she was moving. They said the reason why they didn't let her see her after 4 hours is because she was frozen. They wanted her to defrost, and that's why they had to do that. They should have probably had a light in there, but it's dark in the freezer because I guess people are not even supposed to be in there with the door closed. So the light goes off when the door closes. But there is a button on the door that you could hit from the inside that would automatically open the door. But with no lights, she can't see it, and without a cell phone, she couldn't see it. No, I'm waiting on the toxicology report like everyone else should do. Wait for the toxicology report to reveal what is happening actually in the case before you can start going there. We don't know if she was sexually assaulted. We won't know these things for about a couple of weeks when the full report is released. Toxicology reports normally take 3 to 4 weeks. So when that happens, then everyone can start basing their opinion on the facts of the case. I just think, in my personal opinion, I already gave you guys my personal thoughts. 19-year-old shouldn't have been out there. There is no excuse for that. And to be in a hotel party at 19 years old and you're a female with your friends, that should have not happened. The parents should have definitely known what was going on. Was there going to be boys there? She should have been home at a certain time. Even at 19, she's still a teen. You know, she could be out past curfew, but there's going to be drinking there and all that stuff. She's not old enough to drink. If I was down there until I got the answers, I wouldn't want to stay at that hotel. If they have areas that is unsafe, like why wasn't that freezer locked? It should be a lock on the freezer or something to just say if that was a kid, a teenager or 8-year-old kid that walked down there, pulled the lever, went into the freezer and got locked in and he died. Do you think that hotel would be not only closed down due to investigations? Little white kid walked in there and did that. But what we're saying is, if you stumble down there and had to pull that door open, and they saying to use that door to pull the freezer open, is you have to use two hands to pull that door open. And the condition she was in, I'm trying to see how did she pull that door open. Normally, most lockers or freezers, they got the pin lock that goes into the slot. So you would have to take the pin lock out and then pull the lever to go into those freezers. Now, if the pin lock is in there, you can't pull the door open. So, for some reason, they're saying that wasn't there. So, that's negligence on the hotel's part by far. Then there's speculation saying that the hotel was working with one of the activist leaders to try to pay for the funeral and everything else in the return to try to exclude itself from liability without discussing it with the family. So I think that person is now removed from speaking on behalf of the family. So a lot of different things was misreported. A lot of speculation is out here. I never lost my verified check. I'm verified. So I can't say she was dead. I just know she was disoriented, and we gotta wait till the toxicology report shows up. Well, you're looking at a situation in which she definitely was in a position where she shouldn't have been in. There's no camera on the elevator. There's cameras in the hallway. Which I think there should be cameras on the elevators. Just in case that's where people get assaulted. Happens a lot. Yeah, it's just that we have to better educate our kids. See, when we were coming up, we were taught differently of what to look out for. We grew up in the streets, so we basically had a street mentality of being aware of certain situations. But nowadays, things are just so crazy to the point where we act like we don't see these things happening, or teach our kids that we're too lenient with our children instead of being there sternly. People are like almost afraid to parent the kid. You know, so much things are being allowed now. You got parents okay with, you can even curse in front of our house. I don't even curse in front of my mother. Period. That's why you see in my videos, I don't really be cursing at all. Period. You can, my grandma and them, they couldn't, if you call somebody crazy, you got hit. Now you got parents okay with kids smoking weed in the house and drinking, and it's just smoking and drinking with their kids. Good morning. Oh, Priscilla, we already went down this. When this video is over, we're gonna end it soon. Go back to the beginning. When it play, you will hear all the facts of this case that we have so far. Just because there's been so much nonsense out here. I had to. Everybody is Perry Mason on the case so far. Nobody has a degree for and everybody on YouTube is a organ expert, and they're trying to transport her across the state lines to Mexico, and there was people there who had this special technology to see FBI, and they can erase security videos and they sketching people out. They had a body double in there to trick the cameras. All kind of stuff I've been hearing. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Just people get caught up in nonsense, not realizing that there's a 19-year-old girl who just lost her life. I can't even watch that video that many times. I'm not gonna make 75,000 videos talking about a child that died at 19. Exactly. I made one video on another channel, not this main channel. Somebody saw a video pop up and be like, "Dog, ain't you live right now?" Yeah, I knew this was coming. My battery's dying. I don't have a lot of juice, so I act like organ harvesting is not real. Well, we'll see what happens in the autopsy report. I'm going to stay on for 3 more minutes so that everyone can get to say what they want to say. And then we'll shut it down. Then that way everybody can go and see the video and get caught up with everything. That way you'll hear all the facts of the case that we have so far. And these YouTube detectives who thinking they're solving a case. Just listen to the facts of the case that's in the beginning. Those are all the facts that we know of as of today. Okay. Stephen A. Smith spazzing. What's new? He always does that. So they busted a ring in 2015 in Rosemont. So that means that's what this is. They've started right back up again. Okay. Well, like I said, let's wait for the toxicology report to come back. And we'll have the medical examiner's autopsy report. And when it's in full. You should have that in a couple of weeks. They put it in a freezer to preserve our organs. Okay, we'll find all this stuff out in a couple of weeks. Yep, autopsy and toxicology reports. Once that comes out, then we'll go from there. All right, I'm out.